Welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of May 30th, 2022. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Nicole Erdix.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
Every week we chat about the things parents are talking about, complaining about, and obsessing about right now. This week we're complaining about baby name stealing and obsessing about grudges, which probably could be caused by baby name stealing. But
it could.
Two separate topics. We also take a couple of breaks for an entertainment discussion and a recommendation roundup. Today we are talking about the Japanese show Old Enough, which is such a hit on Netflix that Saturday Night Live did a parody of it a few weeks ago, so it has arrived. Tell us about this show, Catherine. I've watched one episode. I don't know how many you have watched.
One.
This is the kind of in-depth, hard-hitting research
this
we do
is
for our episodes,
the reporting that we do.
We spend 10 minutes. That's how to
Yes, these episodes are like 10 minutes or less. But I just felt like I kept hearing about it. So I wanted to see what was up. And then also there's this Saturday Night Live parody, which is very funny and recommended if you haven't seen it yet. So we'll link to it. So anyway, this is a Japanese show, and it's basically like a gentle little reality show, right? Because what they do is they have these very little children, like under 3 years old. And basically they just the parents send them out to do errands, and they must have a little film crew trailing them and a little microphone somewhere, because, you can hear the kids sort of talking to themselves like, oh, there's an ambulance.
You hear the squeaky shoes.
Yeah, the kid has squeaky shoes on in the one we watched. And, the mother says, okay, go to the store, and this is what you need to get at the store. And she gives the kid a little flag that he is to use in order to cross streets, like, just put this flag out and all the cars will stop.
And the store is like a kilometer away, which I'm not good enough to know how far that is, but it sounds far.
Well, it's like a third of a mile or something like that, yeah.
I would not send my kid across the street at 2.5, but okay.
Right.
Neither am I in a reality show, so...
Yeah. I mean, it's fascinating to watch, like, one episode. I can't imagine sitting and watching half a dozen. Apparently this is like a very long-running show in Japan. And, you can get a bunch of episodes on Netflix, but, like, it's cute, but okay.
The fact that they're only 10 minutes is helpful.
It is, yes.
It's also, we should mention, not in English. It's in Japanese.
You have to read subtitles.
If you're watching it on your phone, the subtitles are tiny. Not quite as tiny as the children, but still tiny.
Right.
So what's the point in all this? Like, it's like child labor? Like, what is this?
I think it's just to show that, like, how people are sort of fascinated by like parenting practices in other places, right? And, we're all just like, oh my God, I would never. But, they have it kind of all set up, like it's sort of accepted, I think, in society. And maybe it's even expected that, kids need to learn how to do this stuff. I don't know. Because, the cashier in the grocery store is... friendly and helpful, but doesn't seem like shocked that this is happening.
Yeah, but maybe the fact that the kid is followed by a film crew, they probably warned that this kid is coming. I mean, I really wondered how staged it was. It sounded to me like there was like a audience laughing at what the guy
sort of narrator guy said.
Yes. So it seemed like, almost like an America's Funniest Home Videos situation. Right. And, maybe they just took pictures of him a few times along the way, and then they put him in the store and said to everybody, help him out. Is this for real? And also, is this something the Japanese mothers just routinely do, or is this a day?
Yeah, like, how common is this? Is this like something that's common across society? Or like...
Well, that's what I don't know.
That's what they would like you to believe, I think, is the Is that the philosophy of the show?
I guess,
But,
yeah.
I mean, I'm there to watch an adorable little tyke with squeaky shoes walk around for 10 minutes with a very serious expression on his face, as long as he doesn't get mowed down by a truck.
Right.
I'll spend 10 minutes with that.
Yes, and he's extremely cute.
But that doesn't make me think that all 2.5, look at that, 2.5-year-olds can walk a kilometer and buy 3 things at the store and bring them back. Not the flowers so well, but still. It doesn't make me want
Flowers
to
survived.
start sending tiny tykes out on adventures.
Right.
I mean,
That's
maybe
amazing.
like a 5-year-old or something.
Yeah.
With my breath held the entire time. But a 2.5-year-old? A 2.5-year-old? Really?
Hey, man, that's...
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I would think that
It's
child
wild.
traffickers would just be waiting for the little toddlers to come and say, want to ride to the store?
no.
Here's some candy.
Kids would just wave their flag and be like, nope, nope.
I'm going to squeak my shoes a bunch of times.
That's
Somebody
right.
comes in. Were those like Crocs that he was wearing? And did they have a deliberate squeak in them?
It seemed to me like they were made to squeak.
They did. They seemed like
Like
you
not
always
for the
know where your
purposes
kid is.
of the of the show.
Right,
Just
but for
like
the purposes of mom knowing where the kid is.
I guess like you put a bell on a cat.
Although at some point you're going to say, take those shoes off.
Right.
I can't stand it. Still, he was just as adorable as could be.
Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting. I mean, like for us in our society, that would definitely not work. So, I guess you just have to really
No,
think
you'd
about
have
it
people
in
calling the
context.
police on you
Yeah.
in half a second. Yeah.
Send your 12-year-old out, the police people would call the police.
Yes. So I think understanding the context is really important in this situation. Like
Right.
trying to figure out what kind of supports are in place to be able to
Right.
make
I mean,
that
does
happen.
everyone knows the flag means
Right.
I'm a small child trying to cross the street, so
Right.
to stop your
I'm looking at some of the other episodes just to deepen our research here.
Okay.
I'll read you some of the descriptions. Tasked with making fresh mandarin juice, a mischievous 4-year-old is tempted by the freedom of an empty house. His mom gives him an angry phone call.
Oh.
Episode 3, a polite girl does her best to run errands while her younger sister is ill. Everything goes smoothly until she encounters a troublesome cabbage. In episode 4, a 3-year-old girl helps out her mom by shopping at a busy fish market where she chats with the merchants before coming home with an unexpected item.
Uh-oh.
Episode 5, 2 3-year-old friends enjoy working together to buy sweet dumplings before heading up a steep flight of steps to their local shrine to buy amulets.
See, there's a lot of
A
drama.
2-year-old boy who looks up to his sushi chef father is asked to take his dad's clothes to the cleaners. I was a little worried he was be making sushi. Or, his dad works for Benihana. We'll fum in today's dinner. So that's some of the other adventures these small ones are sent out on. And sounds pretty contrived. But I bet they're cute.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
I am a sucker for
definitely-
cute kids.
Well, I don't know, like what, I mean, when my kids, I'm just kind of trying to relate this to my own kids. It was very stressful trying to figure out, are they old enough to do this? Are they not? Like, it just seemed, even when, do I give up the after school daycare for my 6th grader or don't I? Do I let him come home every day? Do I let him, or, I would have to leave for work at 6:30 and he would have to get up and get himself ready and go to school for 8. And that was a big step for us.
Yeah.
But he was in 6th grade then. And, that was a huge step. But it's hard making those, it's really hard coming to those decisions.
Yeah.
And making sure. There was one morning where because I used to phone and check up on him and make sure he was on schedule. And I was calling and calling, and he wasn't answering, right? Oh my gosh, what's going on? But our neighbor had a key to the house. And so I said, please go check on him. Make sure he's okay. So he was fine. He was just sleeping.
Yeah.
But-
Well, if I was sending my 2.5-year-old to the store for me, I would feel much better if he was being followed by a camera crew. So
Yes.
Yes.
if we could have that as part of the deal, then
Then
maybe
you
they
might
can walk to
consider
the
it.
corner.
Yes, like you got to have those supports in place, right?
Right.
Yes. Freedom, but a safety net.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for kids doing chores, like around the house, at the youngest moment they're able. I think it's empowering and good for their self-confidence. But going with you to the store, even maybe saying, hey, honey, go over to the next aisle and get this thing for me.
Right.
Maybe. If there's nobody dicey in the store at all, and it's really just the two of you, or, but further up the aisle you're in. There you go. You enter the aisle and say, go get the Cheerios. Maybe. But, my kids have participated in the going to errands, but not necessarily. My daughter does now that she drives. She'll go out and do stuff.
Right.
But
Right.
honestly, I'm still a little nervous to leave my 29-year-old son home alone when we go for a walk. So I'm probably not the person who would participate in sending 2.5-year-olds across busy streets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't walk in front of the bus, honey. Wave your flag.
Well, in this world, no.
Yeah.
In the world that the three of us live in, no.
I don't know. I mean, my town, I think a kid would... I mean, everyone would be all over them, like,
Yes.
who are you and where's your mother? But they would not hurt them. The kid would be fine.
If you know enough people in the community, you need to set up a schedule while, okay, I'm letting him out of the door now. You watch him for the next 3 minutes, and then the next house, and then the next house, and then, the crossing guard on the corner, and then the
Everyone's
next house.
peeking through the windows.
Exactly.
Right.
And communicating on walkie-talkies.
Right. Subject in sight.
But we're not overprotected. No. We're just smart and cautious. And not Japanese, clearly.
Well, because of the way American society is, that is why it is funny to watch the Saturday Night Live spoof on this whole thing.
What would be the American version of this? Would be like, Johnny is going to college all by himself. Right. Will he be able to unpack his room?
The Saturday Night Live version is live-in boyfriends being sent to buy, like, makeup at Sephora. It's quite fun.
Yes. Also an enjoyable show. Probably less likelihood of kidnapping or being smashed by a truck.
Yeah.
Depending on the boyfriend.
Depending on the boyfriend and whether you would mind. Oh, boy. Well, we are all old enough to record podcasts and share them with you, so that is what we do.
And we take off our squeaky shoes while we're recording.
That's right. But that's going to be it for today's round 1. Tune in tomorrow for our entertainment-themed round 2, and later in the week to find out what we're complaining about, obsessing about, and recommending right now. We're always interested in what you have to say, so drop us a comment on our website, our Facebook page, or Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.